So you're at the grocery store. Options at the sushi counter were a little thin. Spicy tuna rolls will have to do. But you know what else is a little thin? Your patience. You were listening to your favorite podcasts, but now all you're listening to is this little robot lady yap at you.
Place your item in the bagging area.
If only you had the AAA podcast's extra content, you wouldn't have even heard her talking to you over the sound of our hobby addicts, our hentai episodes, and our after parties. But now you're about to get arrested for assaulting Wally over here. Goddamn robot bitch. Little Billy's sitting at home about to go hungry while Mommy and Daddy are becoming somebody's new favorite down at the Slammer. Don't let little Billy go hungry. Head over to aapodcast.com/join our Patreon today and support the podcast. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon.
Place your item in the bagging area.
Yeah, I'll put you in a bag.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome into episode 416 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where our sole mission is to make your anime addiction worse. That's what we've been doing for years and years. I am your host, Mitsuki, and I am not wearing pants. And in the blue corner, we have Caroline. Caroline, how are you today?
I am good. I mean, the weather the past few days here has been lovely. Most of the snow melted as of yesterday. And then I woke up this morning, looked out the window, and there we have it. It's 30 degrees and a fresh blanket of snow. It does not last long.
Wow.
And it was a cruel, cruel joke the world played on us.
And as I sip my coffee with chocolate tequila liqueur, I look to my right, and there's Mason in the red corner wearing red headphones. Mason, how are you?
I'm doing well. Having to readjust my camera because my head got chopped off on Twitch, but I'm glad to be here. I don't know how much longer the red headphones will last. They're on their last leg, so we might get some new tune dispersers in the coming days, but glad to be here. It is, once again, as Caroline said, nice dusting of snow. It's not too heavy, though. It's kind of warm out. I'm feeling good. It's Super Bowl Sunday when we're recording this, which is why we're streaming this early. So thanks for joining us.
That's right. And if you
were taken by surprise over the fact that we are starting early today, that is a good sign that you should follow us on our social medias so you know exactly when we are streaming if it happens to be different than usual.
That's right, Cotton.
Yeah.
And if you get lost easily, you can find us over at twitch.tv/AAA podcast live Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern. I won't be wearing pants. I don't care. Don't send your hate mail. I don't give a shit. We are over on Twitter. You can find us on Twitter at AAA podcast. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. Listen, Caroline's been having fun with the TikTok. She's doing her best.
Thank you.
And we're enjoying it. We're enjoying the effort. Discord, honestly, go to our website. You can click the Discord button on the top. It'll take you to the Discord. We got well over 2,000 people on there that are just, having a great time with each other and making friends and watching anime together at night. I love to see it. And a couple more announcements. The Anime Oscars voting is still live, although it will only be up for a little longer because we will be doing our Oscar show here in a couple weeks. So you can see the Discord or our website or social media for access to voting. Also, the Winter 2022 Listener Choice voting is also live. You can find the voting for that at the same places. And honestly, I will probably take that down the same time that the Oscars comes down. So that is...
So consider this your last call. And
pretty much,
I want to urge people, a lot of these votes on both accounts are decided by a couple numbers. Just a few. I've seen some that are within one vote of making or breaking a show, winning or losing. So your vote still matters. It still counts. We've got a lot of votes, and we appreciate them, but it's not decided yet. So get your hat in the ring.
And when you vote, I'll send you a drive to your house. I give you a little sticker that says I voted, so you can go online and post a picture of yourself that no one gives a fuck about. All right, and for the show today, we are going to be doing our anime blind dates because it is pretty close to Valentine's Day. So
It's tomorrow, Mitsugi.
Is it?
Yes,
Like,
did you not get your loved one a Valentine's Day gift?
Actually, on Friday, I sent Pancake 15 red tulips to her office. And they delivered them so late that she never got them.
They'll be waiting for her on Monday,
And
right on time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
The perfect crime.
Yeah, well, if you know anything about tulips, they will not survive until Monday. They are not a woody flower the way that roses are. They will die. And it is what it is. It's just a sad thing. But I did know it was tomorrow. And we will do something. We always celebrate. You got to celebrate. It's important. So. And of course, we're going to be doing a review of Heike Monogatari, which is a Mason joint. So you're going to want to stick around for that much later in the show. But first, it's time for big news of the week, which is really hot new anime releases.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
So fucking piping hot. Hoo, hoo. Don't burn yourself.
Toasty.
Jujutsu Kaisen is coming back with a second season in 2023. Pretty big news, You got to wait a while for it, but at the stage greeting event for the film Jujutsu Kaisen 0, it was announced that a second season will be coming. By the way, that movie has made $91 million, which is a pretty good amount of money for Japanese theaters. That's a strong showing. So Jujutsu Kaisen, not too far behind Demon Slayer. The new season is going to be done by MAPPA. So MAPPA is just busy as fucking hell. I mean, it's ridiculous how busy MAPPA is. They aired the first 24 episodes in the fall of 2020, which adapted the first 8 volumes of the manga, which the manga just had its 18th volume come out on the 25th of December. So there's roughly 2.5 more seasons of stuff of Jujutsu Kaisen left, and by the time we get to 2023, I could see there being another 20-30 episodes in store for Jujutsu Kaisen before the manga is caught up with, and the manga has 60 million copies in print, which is a lot. So how excited are we on a scale from 1 to 10, guys?
Well, I'm just surprised it's taken so long.
Moderately.
I kind of expected that the newer season would be announced sooner than this.
I kind of agree.
I mean, it's faster than Made in Abyss, which also did the similar season 1 movie, season 2. So I don't know. They're taking their time with it, and good on them. Mappa's just loaded up with stuff. And reminder for those who didn't listen a couple of weeks ago, I think the Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie, is coming out in the U.S. In the middle of next month. So mid-March is when you can see that in theaters if you feel so inclined.
Yeah,
but I'm moderately excited. It's kind of your best shonen that's around right now, but I'm not a huge shonen head, so it is stylish and fun, and we'll see more Panda. But that's about it for me.
I'm excited. I'm probably around an 8, 7 or 8,
Okay.
So pretty cool. Anything else there, guys?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
I'm just going back to see what we rated season 1, see what our vibes were on that.
All right. Well, Caroline, why don't you take the second one here, because I don't want to hog the spotlight.
Okay. Vinland Saga Season 2 has already been announced, I believe, but it has been announced that it'll be animated by MAPPA instead of Wit Studio, which was the original. Yeah. So they'll be taking over the animation for Season 2. Trailer was released in addition to the official confirmation, and apparently the core staff will be the same, so that's great. Vinland Saga is the second anime series after Attack on Titan. MAPPA is taking over from Wit Studio, and I remember that I posted about this on our Twitter, and then one of our followers commented on it, saying something like, "If I had a nickel for every single time MAPPA took a hit anime from Wit Studio, I would have 2 nickels," which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
You can't buy shit with 2 nickels.
No, it's a reference to Phineas and Ferb, but that was pretty funny. But anywho, so Mappa in the next 2 years will also have Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, Kakaguri Twin, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Yuri on Ice movie, and now, as we mentioned, Vinland Saga Season 2. So that'll be exciting.
Are we prepared to say right now that Mappa is pretty much sitting on top of the anime industry as far as studios?
Based on that list of all the shows that they're doing, I would say so.
Mason?
I mean, I think they have all the hits. They're definitely not my favorite studio. I think
Right.
I think they're I mean, I would rather have Wit over Mappa if I was getting one of my stories adapted, but good for them. Hopefully they're getting I know that we all like to joke like, "Oh, Mappa is just like running their animators into the ground," but I am concerned about it. I know it's not probably drastically worse or better than any other studio, but it makes me feel concerned. But yes, they have all the spades in their back pocket. They are at the top of the food chain as far as what they have to produce.
You heard it here. They have all the spades.
They've got all the spades.
There you go. Mason, why don't you
Hopefully
take the third
they
one
don't
here?
dig their own grave with them and take on more than they can handle. The final big news for hot new releases is the Demon Slayer's manga Swordsmith Village arc gets a TV anime. So obviously the Entertainment District arc ended on Sunday with the announcement that the next arc of the manga, the Swordsmith Village, will also have a television anime. To no surprise, the big shonen stuff just keeps on coming out. The train keeps on rolling, as some might say, and we get more Demon Slayer. And I have not watched any of season 2 yet, so I find it hard to get excited for the next season or the next arc. But Demon Slayer looks cool, and I kind of feel like I do with Jujutsu Kaisen. It looks sweet, it's kind of fun, and it's more just French fries to shove into your face. It's not the most nutritious, but it tastes good sometimes.
Sometimes.
French fries always taste good. I was just sitting here just now thinking to myself that Demon Slayer has left the door open for Jujutsu Kaisen to just walk right through and be the top shonen, because I really feel like what I saw of the current season of Demon Slayer just wasn't that interesting. And nothing about the Swordsmith Village sounds all that interesting either. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the Demon Slayer, if it doesn't drastically improve in its current arc, people are gonna go, Demon Slayer was okay.
What more could you want? Nezuko got big booba now. Like, how is that?
Did
not
she
the
get a boob
pinnacle of
job?
Anime.
Did she get a boob job?
I'm so frightened to watch it.
Did she go silicone? Did she get the good stuff, or did she go?
I saw a screenshot where she
didn't go
is
saline,
a
did
little
she?
bit more developed at this point, which is kind of weird.
She didn't go saline though. Come on.
I mean, she's already been such a fetishistic object in the show that. Anyway, we're getting off tangent. More Demon Slayer, good for fans.
I feel like you're right on target, Mason. Actually, I think we have a hentai episode later, and
I'm actually excited for this one. I've
really?
written so many verbose and flowery words to describe what happens in my show, so it'll be interesting today.
Well, I had elves with many big breasts, so there you go. There's
Save
the
it for
preview.
the hentai episode.
AAApodcast.com/join hentai episodes. But Caroline, what do you have for big news today?
Well, you might have heard that after nearly 50 years, Studio Sunrise will be going under restructuring within Bandai Namco and will lose its iconic name and logo, becoming Bandai Namco Filmworks as of April 1st. So, yeah. No longer will it be considered Sunrise. But if you aren't unsure what exactly they've done, they've pretty much done a lot. The Gundam franchise, the Love Live franchise, producing classics such as Cowboy Bebop, Code Geass, Gintama, and many, many more. So, yeah, it's a pretty big name that's going to be going away and becoming something a little less interesting.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean,
I don't know. Have you seen the logo? It's just so corporate and ugh.
I don't know. Sunrise made its mark with all these mecha shows, and no one gives a flying fuck about mecha now, it seems like. So I don't know what the hell they've been doing. They must be really bored. So that's my take. But
that's it.
Every now and then. I'm so mixed on this news because on one hand, yes, it is an iconic image that contributed to decades of anime greatness, and you just hate to see the brand, even if the entity remains and they still produce the same shows, like it just hits different. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's just a JPEG before the show you're about to watch. Like, does it really change anything?
It does matter.
It does, but it also does. Like, I'm right in the middle of seeing both sides of it, but it is sad because you lose some of that.
Brand equity matters a lot. So, and people will be like, if they change the Ghibli logo, it would be a big deal.
Yeah.
So even though Ghibli's kind of doesn't matter anymore, really. So, all right. Do we have anything else?
No, I don't think so. New shows coming out just like the old shows. Which of these are you guys the most excited for? Between Jujutsu Kaisen, Vinland Saga, or Demon Slayer?
For me, it's got to be Vinland Saga.
I would say if I was ranking them from least excited to most excited, Demon Slayer, I almost don't care. And then I would say beyond that, man, I think probably I think Jujutsu Kaisen second place, then Vinland Saga's first place. Vinland Saga just was on another level, I think, and Jujutsu Kaisen was kind of devolving into some of the normal shonen training bullshit, stupid talking pandas that I think is the dumbest thing on earth, and people that it's like, what is this, fucking Tekken? Like we had to have like a talking panda.
King, we need King. Oh, I wish King was in
Kuma
every
wins.
anime.
So but I like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I think Vinland Saga is on another sort of level, and I think that I think if we asked a lot of people, I kind of think that they would agree that Vinland Saga is the most anticipated. We're gonna get so flooded with Demon Slayer here that everyone's gonna be so fucking tired of it that they're not gonna give a shit, and no one's gonna care anymore. That's my opinion, but
I don't disagree.
Okay, well. It's time for Anime Blind Dates, which was a Caroline idea. So we will let Caroline explain what we're doing here, and then I will ruin whatever Caroline has in store by making it inappropriate and
Please don't.
The humor of a 5-year-old. So yeah, Caroline, take it away.
We have hentai episodes for a reason. Let's try to keep it relatively
No, the goose is
PG.
loose. Once you get it out of its cage, it can't be stopped.
guarantee anything, Caroline. I'm sorry.
And you also have the tequila coffee, so this is going to be amplified to 100. Okay.
It's not very strong.
Okay.
It does taste good.
It's like, no, it is strong. Meat rips his shirt off. Like starts flexing on camera. Go ahead.
Anywho.
I am balking now.
We decided to put a list together of some anime characters at random. So we each have 5 on our lists, and we will be randomly pairing them off with each other. And we are going to be discussing how we think that blind date would go. And just go with that. Now, apparently, we each have 5, so there are 15 total, leaving 7 pairs and 1 person who is forever alone. And we will figure out who that is.
So sad.
So, do you think that if we feel like one blind date is just absolutely terrible, they deserve a different pairing? Do you think we can do that?
Nope, that's not how blind dates work. You get what you get.
Oh, okay.
I think most of the time blind dates don't work.
Then let's go with it.
By their nature.
So what's the setup? Is this like they matched on like Tinder or Bumble or whatever? Or is this like friends of one another? It's like, hey, I know this great person. I think you'd love them. Meet them at the local Dairy Queen, and these two characters are coming together, and they're just like have no idea what they're getting.
I love Dairy Queen, and so does Caroline.
What a blind date is. That's what a blind date is. Like, you just don't know who you're getting together with at all. So, yeah, I would say it's through mutual friends.
Speaking of Dairy Queen, last night I was watching the Olympics and I smoked a lot of pot, and I said, it's time to get the double stuffed Oreo Sonic Blasts out of the freezer, and they were a blast. I'll tell you what. Brought to you by Sonic, not a sponsor of the AAA podcast.
Please sponsor us. Your food is terrible, but your shakes aren't bad.
Their food is okay. They got
it's not.
Their hamburgers are okay.
Let's. So are we just? Mitz, are you gonna roll some die over there to figure out who our first couple are?
Oh, you want me to do that?
Yeah. Let's make it truly random.
Yeah.
All right.
We have no idea. who each other have picked. So we are even blinding our dates from one another's list. So who knows what's going to happen.
We, as the people putting these two things together, we are also blind to this date.
All right.
Exactly.
I have used the technology of Excel to choose our picks, and
You'd always just do a random number generator.
that's what I did.
No, Excel is the only way we do anything on this podcast.
Because as we mentioned last week, Excel is superior to
Excel
Sheet.
excels.
Well, there's no doubt about that. All right, so we have to pick our pair first. So I will, and I'm just gonna make this easy. I'm gonna say myself and Caroline are gonna go first.
Okay.
And I have picked random numbers. We are picking the first from my list and the second from Caroline's list.
All right, so who do you have, Mitz?
I apologize in advance for any probably expected inappropriateness that will come out of this topic. As
But
Caroline,
you will do nothing to deter yourself from doing that.
Nope. I don't know. I just can't. And I think that this first pairing could spawn another entire topic, because in my perverted mind, there's something funny to be gained out of this that somehow resembles a Japanese TV show. So, Caroline, who is your blind date gonna be?
I thought you were going to say first.
Oh, mine is simply a girl's ass from Keijo. It's probably non Toyoguchi's, but it's just her ass. We're gonna cut
Only
it.
her ass.
We're gonna cut a hole We're gonna cut a hole in the chair, and she's gonna sit backwards, and he's just gonna look at her
Be
butt.
poking out the other side.
He's just gonna look at her butt,
Nice.
and much like a Japanese TV show where a man stands there while 10 girls stick their titties through a wooden board through a wall, and then he has to guess which titties are his wife's. He will be introduced to non Toyoguchi the way that you would expect from Keijo, but first. So there you go. And it's probably a very nice ass, by the way.
It's leading with your best assets, so
yeah.
that's how you want to.
God, I love her assets.
Anyway, Caroline, what is your second contestant victim? How
So
are you framing this?
the second person on my list is Chrome from Dr. Stone.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So, okay, can I have a question? Is there any talking from the ass? Like, is it
Oh,
just the ass?
she talks to him. It's just
Okay.
that we're not going like full Jim Carrey, like asshole Rolio, like when he's talking out of his ass. We're going, she's gonna talk to him. It's just that he's gonna be looking at her butt. Chrome, I
Okay.
love Chrome.
But
would
is he an
definitely
ass guy?
Could
Is he an ass
Oma.
guy or a boob guy?
That's a good
He
question.
would be confused by like what's going on. He would genuinely think that the voice is coming from the booty.
Wow.
I don't know.
Chrome-
He's a scientist, though. He'd know.
Chrome would be so hard to have a date with, though, because he wouldn't understand anything. I mean, are we having a modern day date with like waiters and restaurants and movie theaters and shit? Because he would freak.
Yeah, what's the location? Where did they meet?
Yeah.
Or are we
This-
just assuming everything is at the Mr. Donut?
The way
I
that
love
I
Mr.
think
Donut.
about it is that they just sat down for dinner in like a not a specific place.
I'm picturing like a booth, like at a diner. Like at a Denny's where everyone's like,
I like Denny's.
is he talking to a butt? But like they're like, we've seen this a couple times before, so it's not that uncommon. Like that kind of establishment.
Is Denny's good, by the way? Because I haven't been there in a while.
No.
And neither have I.
It's not. Is it like?
No.
Is it IHOP level or worse than IHOP? Because I won't eat at IHOP anymore. It sucks.
We have way too many tangents at this point. We have got to
That's what
keep
I would say
podcasting's
if
all
you're
about,
not a fan
Carol.
of IHOP, Denny's is not going to do anything for you.
Okay. I don't think this date's gonna go well. First of all, I think that the girls from Dr. Stone are probably more attractive than Non Toyoguchi's butt.
Really? That's really good.
Have you seen the blonde girls from Dr. Stone? They are.
But the eyes.
Well,
Yeah, but if their butts were facing him, he wouldn't see their bug eyes.
No, I
Hmm.
guess that's true. But would he be okay with
goodness.
just dating a girl's butt?
if her butt resembles the photo that I'm about to put on Twitch, yes.
Oh God.
Yeah. Probably because it's like, I don't even know how to get this image onto the Twitch. I guess I'm going to have to take the image, put it on the show notes, and then get that because I'm working with two different computers here at the same time. So, which is very frustrating. But You know what? I don't know. Nolan Toyoguchi is actually hotter than anybody from Dr. Stone. I'm looking at a picture of her at the beach right now. But I think that Chrome is going to be very confused because he won't understand how an ass is talking. He doesn't get it. He's like a Stone Age man. You know, he might be a man of science, but science is progress, and it's very slow progress. And I am 10 billion% sure that he will sit there trying to figure out how an ass is speaking.
I feel like you don't give him enough credit. I think he can figure it out.
All right, well, how's it going to go while I put this picture of Nolan Toyoguchi on Twitch?
Well,
Chrome
I
can't
still-
do anything without Senku, so Senku's in the next booth over explaining to him what's going on. Like, you gotta compliment her. Like,
Wait, so Senku is his wingman. So he set up the blind date.
that's what I'm envisioning.
That probably would happen, actually, because Senku's a
I
good
mean-
boy.
And as long as Senku was like, Chrome, you gotta do it. You gotta save the village. You gotta smooch the butt. I think Chrome could grit his teeth and get through it.
Look
and
at
figure
that.
it out.
Look at that booty on Twitch. It is just, and I got to move the blind date thing down. I'm very bad at this, so.
That's a
I'm
rumpus
on
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just don't.
I don't see this getting a second date.
No.
I like Chrome.
yeah.
But I think you'd be like, it's not doing it. She doesn't know the periodic table.
Well, actually, I think
That's true.
the problem is actually Chrome because just looking at them, Nolan Toyoguchi is way out of Chrome's league. They're not even close, and Chrome doesn't even like own he doesn't even like own shoes. Like, how's he gonna like?
He's got those platform sandals. What more do you need?
How's he gonna take this hot chick on a date? I gave him a hot chick. He doesn't know how hot she is. He's just seeing her ass, but the ass is enough. I think you don't need to see much more, but to know that she's attractive probably, but but I just don't think she's going to be interested because she's going to be high maintenance. She's like, oh, buy me this, oh, take me out to dinner, I want to go to Del Frisco's, buy me a diamond necklace, pay my rent. And Chrome's going to be like, Chrome or Senku. And Senku will get it. Senku gets it because he's a man of science from the future, but Chrome, he's just a little babe in the woods. And
Aw.
none
Can
would eat him
handle all
alive.
that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Back from that a couple episodes ago, when we had the hottest guys or the smexiest guys from anime list, and I was unsure of like who was missing here because who is the person I think is actually kind of smexy? I think it's kind of Chrome.
Really? Okay. Well,
I don't know. He
I
has
love
that
Chrome.
just dorky, smart, and cute aspects. I think he's on my list.
I love Chrome. I love Dr. Stone. And if we do a smexiest, if we do a hottest babe bracket,
We have to.
which people have already said they want that, pretty obvious. I expect this Nolan Toyoguchi is going to be in that bracket. She's going to be very competitive. So, all right. So shall we move on? We got a lot of pairings here.
Yes.
I'm gonna say Caroline and Mason will go next, and I'm going to calculate the spreadsheet, and we are going to take the fourth option from Caroline and the third option from Mason.
Okay, so my fourth option is Sasha from Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Nice. A potato girl after my own heart. My third option is Ishigami from Kaguya-sama.
Okay.
I could kind of see this working,
You think?
I actually
I
could
feel
too.
like Sasha will be like, so, they sit down at the diner and she is just going to town on some potatoes, some french fries. And Ishigami's like, she's not really saying anything, so I'm not like messing it up. So he would just like sit in silence and they would just kind of vibe off one another.
Yeah, I feel like Ishigami would be like the deadpan combo to Sasha's comedic personality.
Exactly. Like they go well together, and she would be going at it, eating the fries, and Ishigami like halfway through was like, "Do you want some ketchup?" And it will like blow Sasha's mind. And
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
doesn't know what
God.
ketchup is.
Exactly.
She'll
Just
just
the
like
infusion.
should be in love immediately because someone had the kindness to actually offer her something as opposed to just living in hell, which is basically what Attack on Titan is.
Yeah. And Ishigami will just be like, "Yes, played my trump card perfectly right," and he would just be cool and not bother her. And at the end, Sasha would be like, "We should do this again as long as you provide ketchup," and he'll be like, "That's a win." I could see this working. I honestly
I can
could see it.
also. I don't
Well,
know. But what other like positive personality traits does Ishigami have?
He's probably smart.
He's
Smart guy, right?
silently considerate. Yeah, I feel like they cover each other's weaknesses. Like their Venn diagram of like similarities is very small, but they would mesh well. This would definitely get a second date. No
At
question.
least a second one. I can see at least getting past the first date.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're a marriage material. I was trying to say proposal and material at the same time. We're not in that territory, but definitely another date.
What do you think, Mitz?
I just wonder what kind of like, it's blind dates, dating, life is tough, reality's harsh. I kind of wonder what kind of baggage Sasha has, because she's got to be fucked up from all this, from the world that she lives in. Whereas Ishigami's like a rich kid who is like cushy life. Oh, I'm kind of like edgy because my hair's black and I don't give a fuck and I have one eye covered and I'm wearing my headphones all the time. But it's like, then there's Sasha who lives in hell.
Yeah, Sasha
is one of the
goes
most
to war, and love is war, which Ishigami is part of. So like they have the same experience, my dude.
And Sasha is like a very optimistic person. I feel like she's out of everyone in Attack on Titan, she's the best. What's the word? She's able to get through it, I think.
Okay, well, maybe it will work, because maybe Ishigami can just give Sasha the cushy life that she deserves after, starving to death and being covered in blood for, half of her show. So.
And Sasha's great. She's kind, and Ishigami, like, she wouldn't like pressure Ishigami too much, so he could eventually come out of his shell. So yeah, I'm calling it good. Right. I'm seeing hearts.
Yes, me too.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Okay, next pairing, I'll just say me and Mason, because that hasn't happened yet, and that's probably how we will continue this as we go along. We're gonna take we're gonna take Mason's fourth and my second from the list here. I don't even remember what I put on my list, honestly. Okay. Oh yeah, perfect. Oh, this is gonna be perfect.
I'm gonna color code our chart so we can figure out.
Keep track of the pairings.
We keep track of the pairing, and people who follow and subscribe get our show notes. They can see like, oh, how did they go together? I
don't even know how to ad lib this next one, but I'm gonna bring to the blind date the succubi from Ishizoku reviewers.
like the
crazy
ones
ones
that are in that like cage.
Yes, the crazy succubi.
Well, I could kind of maybe see this working.
It really should have been the other girl from that series. It would have worked really well, probably.
Well, my fourth pick is Aqua from Konosuba.
Mm-hmm.
And as we all know, the thing Aqua wants in this world more than anything is followers. She wants the masses to love her. She yearns for the populace to hold her up as the god that she perceives herself to be. And why go on a blind date with like just some dude, some lady, just one individual, when you can try to coerce a room full of sex-starved wildebeest to join your cult? And she will just she would love all the attention. She would be all into this.
But would the succubi love her?
Oh,
the succubi love you long time, as I've been
They
told,
are crazy in this show. They are on another level. These are some of the craziest succubi I've ever seen in anything. I mean, not that succubus.
I've never seen a succubi before, so that's
well, you're about to, because I'm going to put them on Twitch here. So.
Oh God.
So there you go. So
have you ever gone to the zoo and there's like the little glass cage of like the termites where there's just like 1,000 of them just like swarming over one another, and you're just like, I do not want to put any part of my body in that cage. That's how I think looking at the succubi dungeon.
Oh man, yeah. Oh boy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about Aqua really. I mean, I feel like Darkness would be the better call, because she would just lay there and tell the succubi to devour her, and she'd love every second of it.
I don't disagree. I think Darkness and Succubi would definitely be like insta match. Like, this is, I hear wedding bells. Aqua, I think she'd be into it for like 20 minutes and be like, oh, as always, she is underprepared for everything and drastically is not prepared on any level for what is coming there. So I think she would definitely be like, yeah, I'm into it. And eventually be like, I need to get out of here. I can't handle all this attention. So I don't see a second date, but I could see Aqua definitely being like, maybe I'll call them back if I'm having like a rough day. And like,
Yeah.
like,
It's a booty call.
like a booty call. A succubus
Well,
call. That's literally what they're there
Okay.
for.
You know, there's a time and a place for booty calls, and
A little succubi with benefits.
yeah, probably probably Aqua will be too freaked out, and will not want to have the second date, because the succubi are just going to be like peeling off from the date and just having sex randomly in the streets with people, and and she'll be like, I can't handle this. This is just too much for me. And then Darkness is going to be like hanging around, and she was already a little envious of it all, and she'll be like, well, if you don't want a part of this, I'm going to step in there because I am woman enough to handle all of these succubi. And then they're just going to have like she'll just go, it'll be like it'll be like a swarm of mosquitoes just like descend on Darkness, and when they peel off and disappear, she'll just be like this tree bark husk of a human, because there's no vitality left in her body. And as Kiryu Christian in the Twitch says, "Oh, Billy," which is a reference from Cable Guy. Yeah.
It.
Well, if you haven't seen Cable Guy,
I've heard of the Cable Guy, but I did not.
oh my
No,
God,
it's
you're
not
gonna get
Larry
me
the Cable
killed.
Guy.
There's a scene where they're in prison and Jim Carrey's talking to what the fuck is his name? And through the window, because of its visitation, and he goes, "I'm here for you," and he takes his shirt off and he slaps his nipple up against the window, and then, "Oh, Billy, Jesus Christ, you're gonna get me killed." Oh my God.
What's
Cable
the
Guys.
next pairing?
A terrible movie that's pretty
It's
funny.
not good.
Yeah, not a good movie, but I do think it's funny. So I guess we'll go back to myself and Caroline. And I'm going to do a refresh here. I'm going to have to just start doing these just by hand because we're running out of them here. So I'm just going to take number 5 from my list, and we will take number 1 from Caroline's list. So my blind date is Yajirobe from Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, and
Yeah, please give someone
Okay.
give Yajirobe someone good, because he's probably never even touched a woman, let alone had been on a real date.
it's
this is
Chika
not gonna
from
work.
Kaguya-sama.
This is not gonna
I have
work.
no idea who Yajirobe is, so take it away, Mitsuki.
Oh, Yajirobe is like the fat samurai type dude who's in Dragon Ball in the very beginning of the show, but he doesn't really do anything. He's just kind of comic relief. But he does cut Vegeta's tail off with a sword. During that
Vegeta
big
has a
fight.
tail?
When he transforms.
Not anymore, he doesn't.
No, not anymore, but he did have one. When he transforms into an Ozaru, he, all the Saiyans have tails to begin with, and lets them transform into an ape, which makes them like, I think according to Dragon Ball lore, was it 10 times or 100 times as powerful? I can't remember. But Yajirobe, boy, this is not going to work, because Chika is, I think, way too, well, wait a second. Maybe it will work, because, okay, here it goes. I'm going to have to get this love back.
He's gonna have to pull up a diagram to explain the science on how Chica's not gonna have like the face of like whatever when she's like freaking out in that one gif that is coming to my mind.
Well, Chika is probably.
I'm a little bit disappointed. I feel like Chika deserves better than somebody from Dragon Ball.
Well, you might be right, but Chika is probably the best girl from Kaguya-sama, and she's probably she was the winner of our best girl in our anime Oscars last year. And I wouldn't be at all surprised. Is she in there again this year? I don't even know, but if she is, she'll probably win again. But here's the setting, okay? We all know that Chika loves ramen. She's a connoisseur of ramen, if you will.
That's very true.
She understands the palate, the process, the technique of how to get the most out of a bowl of ramen. So much so that old Japanese men are factually impressed by her. They are blown away by her technique And honestly, it's swoon-worthy. And I'm willing to bet Yajirobe, who is always eating in Dragon Ball, probably is a man who enjoys a bowl of ramen as well. And you might find that love will bloom above the broth, and they will mix their chemistry together into the most delicious soup. Fresh noodles, perfect soft-boiled egg, the tenderest pork, and love will bloom right there in the ramen shop. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I feel like ramen isn't a strong conduit to keep a romance together.
Well,
I mean,
you come home from a hard day at work, you know. And by that I mean Chica does nothing because she's probably worth like millions anyway, so she's not even going to do anything. Probably she's going to retire, which is what I would do. And they come home and it's candlelight cooking sessions together in the kitchen. They cook together. They cook for each other. They enjoy peaceful evenings, cooking, enjoying everything that a palate has to offer, with a little Netflix and chill afterwards. And you can go a long way with that.
I don't know.
What do you think, Mason? We're gonna need a tiebreaker on this one.
I feel like it's 50-50. I feel like Chica is both like the most like dense, unobservant person in the show, and also like the most like, you know, in the know of what's going on. So I feel like Yajirobe could take her out to a nice ramen meal, and she could scoop it all up and just be like, "Yep," and like not even realize it was a date. Like she just thinks it's some kind of game. Or she could also, as you said, so gracefully become, you know, immersed in the scent of it all. So just put them together. It doesn't fit, but I think you did such a good job selling me on it. I'm going to say they get a second date just for more ramen.
Wow. Okay.
You put in the effort. I have to reward it. You know, it was beautiful.
And I think that in the grand scale of characters that we will present today, and in the grand scale of the universe of Kaguya-sama, Yajirobe is probably going to whoop some ass. Because he's probably power level... Let's see, Yajirobe's power level. As we know, a normal human's power level is like 5, right? Yajirobe's power level is 900. Okay, in the Tree of Might, it states that Yajirobe has a power level of 2100, which is a pretty strong fucking dude. So if Chica needs a man that can protect her, you know, she likes, as Pancake would say, a man that can put her through a wall. Yajirobe's probably that man, but we can move. But I digress.
Let's head on to the next one. Just know that love can bloom in the most unlikely of places.
I'm sensing that Caroline would have liked a better person for
I feel
Chica.
As much as I find Kaguya to be superior to Chica, Chica deserves more.
Well, I agree, because Yajirobe's a throwaway character, but that's also what blind dates are all about. So Yajirobe's single because he's fat and a slob, and he has a terrible personality to boot, because if you've seen Dragon Ball, he's he's no one's favorite character. And Chica is maybe, I don't know, Chica would never be single. There's no chance.
Well, she is single in the show.
Well, I mean, that's just because it's anime. If this was real life, you know, because she's super chill, she's super cute, seems fairly low maintenance, and is wealthy. So she'd never be
she
single.
is high maintenance.
Really? Do you think so?
Oh yeah, she's a narcissist. She needs to have the attention of whoever she's with 24/7.
All right. Well, I'm going to take a random number here for Caroline, because she only has 2 left. And your random number, Caroline, is 4. Number 4 from your list.
Well, I only have 2.
Oh, you already did it. You
left,
already chose number 3.
3 or 5.
Number 3 from your list.
Number 3.
And
okay.
Let's see. Mason has number 1, 2, and 5, and the number that came up was 1. So Mason, yours is number 1. I can't wait.
All right. So my first half of the couple
boy.
is Zenitsu from Demon Slayer.
Oh, disastrous.
Yeah, this is automatically going to be disastrous.
All right, take it away. Have fun with this one.
My first one is Sakamoto from Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto? A man whose first date would go swimmingly by anyone's standards. And I feel like he is such a catch that no matter if it was up against anyone else on the list, they would be like, damn, I want a second date with that man. He is just so splendid.
He would not want to date anyone. He's just not a person who wants to date.
He is so benevolent and loving. He would see Zenitsu through all the flaws and really see the little canary at the heart of this yellow lightning boy. So he would wow him. He would quell the yelling beast and subdue his temper. Like, some people, they are just a great match with someone and it's instant chemistry. Some people, they really have to lean on their other partner and like their partner makes them the best version of themselves. And then Zenitsu has potential. I think we all know that. He's not a terrible guy. He's not a jerk. He's kind of cutie, I guess. He loves yellow. He gets along well with animals. So someone just needs to, rough down those sharp edges of him, those very lightning bolt edges, those very screamy, loud, obnoxious edges. But, there's something there, maybe.
I don't know, because I feel like
I just want everyone to love everyone.
I feel like Zenitsu would be incredibly jealous of Sakamoto, even if they are on a date together. I feel like Zenitsu wants the eye of anybody he finds attractive, and whether or not he does find Sakamoto attractive, if he sees another person on the street who he also think is attractive, and that person is automatically drawn to Sakamoto because he is Sakamoto, haven't you heard? And so I feel like he would just be so irritated being with him.
I could get that, the jealousy of Zenitsu being with someone so pristine, perfect. He would know he's unworthy of the Grace's endowment. So,
well, he's no Nezuko post boob job. That's for sure.
It's true. Aren't we all not that way? I think it would more just leave with Zenitsu like in admiration of Sakamoto as everyone is when they meet him, but not really being in for a second date. So I don't think it would work, but it would be a real good date because it's Sakamoto and everything goes amazingly.
You need to have a very specific person to have a date with Zenitsu work.
Have any of these relationships worked out?
I feel like Sasha and Ishigami have.
That's definitely the high mark. And I think the Aqua Succubi one wasn't terrible. Just darkness would intervene when they go to Netflix and chill.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Yajirobe and Chica are getting married. I'm dead serious about that. All right, next up, and I've already pre-sorted this out. I'm taking my number 3, and Caroline is taking her.
Wait, we have to do it with Mason first.
It's fine. I don't care.
Oh, okay, yeah, Mason.
It doesn't matter. No, do it the way you picked, and then
better,
you and I will do the next one.
It's better. That's what I meant. It's better like that because then we will have one for each left over. But I have to figure out which one you're picking. So you have choice number 2 and number 5 left. Go Excel number 2. All right.
I only have number. Wait, what? I only have one choice. Okay, so back to. Oh, never mind. Yes. Okay.
All right. So I am going to bring to the table on a blind date she who is single for sure forever, and probably doesn't give a fuck about this blind date, and that is San from Princess Mononoke, and she will show up with blood on her face.
True. This one might not be such a far-fetched idea. I have Toru from Kobayashi's Maid Dragon.
Wow.
San, lover of big beasts, big animals, loves eating meat. Toru just aching, just yearning to feed her tail to anyone who will bite into it. And San will take voracious bites, as we know.
San would take one look at Toru and it will be nothing but.
Hey girl, you're looking
That's
fine.
That's what it would be.
Licking those chops.
Let me ride on your tail. Let me ride that dragon. I'll tame that dragon.
She would be... we all think San's pretty much a badass riding wolf. Imagine if she was on a freaking dragon.
Oh, that would be. Yeah.
And I feel like San is, down for anyone. Like, really, just as long as you have a beating heart, you can fulfill whatever San's needs are. Like, she's not into any weird kind of cultural divides of like, oh, she's 3,000 years old, or maybe she looks 5. Like, she doesn't care at all. She is down for any just meat and blood and flesh, and I think their post-date shenanigans would be quite intense.
I just think
So I
I
can
think
see it working.
she's probably just as good of a ride as the wolves from Princess Mononoke,
Exactly.
and we know that Toru loves Miss Kobayashi, so she's not averse to be going on a date with another lady,
Exactly.
and it
I'm
could work
seeing it.
out.
I think I can see the hearts forming in Toru's eyes already. So
And let's see.
I don't think San will let Toru baby her as much as Kobayashi does, but I think I think they could learn to live together.
Let's see here. Top five big chested Ghibli characters. I was gonna say that whatever San is lacking in that department will be made up for and then some by Toru. And since I've gone this far, San is number 5. You Baba from Spirited Away. Osono from Kiki's Delivery Service. Dola from Castle in the Sky. And what? Nausicaa number 1. Nausicaa's well, I guess she does open up her top and let Tato climb down into it. A little
pretty suspicious list
unexpected.
there.
All right.
We can do Mitz and Caroline for the last one.
We're gonna actually roll to see who goes. So
Okay.
So the first one of the three of us is gonna be Caroline, and the other person is gonna be Mason. So there you go.
All right. So the first half of the pair here, it is Tadakoro Megumi from Shokugeki no Soma.
Okay, the glasses girl.
She doesn't wear glasses. She has braids.
Who am I thinking of?
I have no idea who you're thinking of.
Who am I thinking of? Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Who are you thinking of?
Who am I thinking of? I could have sworn she wore. Who? I don't know. Yeah,
I'm
the
having
braid
trouble
girl.
thinking of anybody with glasses in Shokugeki no Soma.
I guess I just assumed that character always wears glasses. I don't know. Don't listen to me. My character is Araragi from Monogatari.
Megumi's so cute.
I love Megumi.
She's cute as fuck.
Honestly, I don't know who your character is, Mason, so I need to look this person
Oh
up.
my
It doesn't
goodness,
matter. They're not
Dad.
good enough for Megumi. That's for sure.
I don't know if Megumi has enough problems in her life to be good for Araragi.
Can you
Araragi loves
describe who
fiction.
Aragi is?
Araragi?
Yeah.
Araragi is the main character from Monogatari. He goes around and he ends up getting into kerfuffles with all the ladies in town who often are being inflicted a curse or some sort of negative emotions or vibe from bad juju, spirits, and just they're not having a good time. And he helps them out. He lends them an ear. He tries to help solve their problems, and he is usually really bad at it, but he tries his best, and all the ladies end up kind of being wooed by his incompetent brilliance. And he's a pretty good guy. Loves his brushing teeth. He's a big fan of brushing teeth. So, yeah, as we all are.
I like to floss as well.
Maybe, if it's really getting down and dirty with it. I mean, he would definitely be a big wowed by Megumi. She's kind of fits his vibe. She's
cute as fuck.
Squarely fit, but she's not as light as whatever. I'm not gonna spoil anything. She's no Senjo Gohara. If we're talking about cuteness. So I don't know. I think he'd say.
I don't know who this is, but Megumi's cute.
Megumi's cute as fuck.
Oh my goodness!
Very
You guys
cute.
heard it here. I don't know who this person is.
You don't know who Megumi is?
And she is, but she's no Senjo Gohara. Let's be honest. She doesn't have the ability to twist her neck like an owl in all sorts of different directions, which is just really kind of the lowest bar that you need to win Araragi's heart. So, they'd be a cute little couple. They could go for a couple dates, but it wouldn't last long.
Are they similar in terms of like they're wanting to help people and being nice to people and being that kind of person? Are they too similar in that aspect?
No, But there are tons of people that wear glasses in Shokugeki no Soma, now that I look it up. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't know who I was thinking of. I was thinking of the right character. I just thought she wore glasses. So I don't know what I'm talking about.
So I think it's up for a couple dates, maybe a short fling, but nothing more.
It's a fling until he solves whatever is ailing her, and then they will move on with nice memories of one another. It just wouldn't work out. You know, it wouldn't be bad chemistry. It wasn't meant to be.
I don't know. Megumi's like unicorn material. Pretty much anybody would fall in love with her like within minutes. You know, she's cute as fuck. It's really sweet. Can cook like hell. And did I say cute as fuck? I said that already.
Yes.
I think you did.
Definitely
Well,
true.
who's your leftover person, Mitsuki?
All right. Well, it's
forever alone.
It was inevitable. This person, it was just never going to work out ever with anybody, and that is, drumroll please, Sosuke Sagura from Fullmetal Panic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just too concerned about rifles and, you know, Humvees and, you know, wearing his camo gear, and he just doesn't understand ladies. So Sosuke Sagura.
Yeah, he's
poor guy.
He's clueless. He's the most dense of the bunch.
Yeah, he's not getting it.
He would go on a blind date and not even know he was on one.
He'd be like ducking under the table looking for, like, you know, snipers. There'd be somebody would walk by and there'd be like a reflection on the table of like from someone's like wristwatch, and he would think it was like a sniper rifle dot, and he'd like flip the table over and drag her under it, and she'd have soup on her head, and it would just ruin everything. So,
well, if you had to hand pick a date between all these characters that we've combined, who do you think would be the most successful on a blind date?
I still think it's Yajirobe and Chika. I think they're going to get married. Wedding bells. You know, they're going to open up a restaurant. They're going to open a ramen shop together. It's going to be the cutest thing you've ever seen. Honestly. Opposites attract.
Sakamoto and Chika. Those two.
I feel like just Sakamoto isn't dateable, though. He wouldn't want...
is. He is, though.
He doesn't like anybody in that way.
You don't know that. He's surrounded in the school of doofuses. Like, he hasn't had I've already used that adjective, a goddess like Chika to teach him the ways of wearing hats with bows on them, and then you take the head off and there's another bow on your hair underneath. Like, that's mind-boggling 4D chess maneuvers, and I think you'd appreciate that.
How about you, Caroline?
I think that Megumi and Ishigami would be an even better pair than with Sasha.
I mean, maybe just because they're similar in a school. Yeah, maybe. Or Megumi and Sasha. Now, there we go. Someone to cook the potatoes and someone to eat them.
Yeah, actually, that's
there
perfect.
we go. We take that.
Let's head to the news break. How about that?
Yeah.
I agree. This was fun, though. Good idea, everyone. Trivia time. In Buddhism, what is the lowest level of the Naraka, or Hell Realm? That's it. We'll see ya in a little bit with the answer.
Bye, guys. Hey, Anime Addicts, Mitsuki is here, and I'm bringing you your anime news break, starting us off with the Anime of the Year award winners from the Crunchyroll Awards. Attack on Titan, the final season, part 1, won the Anime of the Year award, beating out 86, Jujutsu Kaisen, Odd Taxi, Ranking of Kings, and Sunny Boy for that award. So other awards that came from the Crunchy Awards: Best Animation went to Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train arc. Best Fantasy went to Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2. Best Drama went to Your Eternity. Komi Can't Communicate won Best Comedy. Jujutsu Kaisen wins Best Action, and Horimiya wins Best Romance. So for those of you that are fans of anime, the awards on Crunchyroll, there is your summary. Attack on Titan, the final season, part 1, taking the win. Now, for the TAAF Awards, the Tokyo Anime Award Festival 2022, which also announced the winners for 2021, with a panel of judges from a pool of 446 titles that they screened or aired, etc. The grand prize went to the film Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time for Best Feature Film, and Best Anime TV Series went to Jujutsu Kaisen for 2021. The Best Anime Fan Award went to Idolish 7 Third Beat. So there you go. There is your summary of the winners from TAAF and Crunchyroll, Jujutsu Kaisen, and also Attack on Titan. And as for what will win our award, we'll have to see when we do our anime Oscars here in a couple weeks. Next up in the news, the greatest sports series of all time, Chihayafuru, has concluded its 15-year run with its 49th volume. So this is the end of the 15-year serialization of Chihayafuru, which was done by Yuki Suetsugu. So in commemoration of the announcement, the first 47 volumes are going to be available on Kodansha's Magazine Pocket smartphone app coming up from Thursday to Friday. You'll be able to check those out. And I'm sure that you might get more Chihayafuru anime as well sometime down the road. And next up, another new anime announcement. The original TV anime Extreme Hearts was announced for summer of 2022. The story is set in the near future where hypersports became a hobby, competitions that is popular with children and adults alike. Hiyori is a high school singer who has nothing to do with hypersports. However, the story is set in motion after a certain incident, an encounter. This is the story about how our best friends meet. The summary coming from my anime list, which is why it's not very good. It looks like the director is going to be Junji Nishimura of Vivid Strike, and the original creator and script is Masaki Suzuki. So not a whole lot of information here, but people are talking a little bit online about this. So if you're interested, go check out Extreme Hearts, which will be coming out later this year. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now, as always, of course, time to get back to the podcast. You've burned through all your podcasts. There's nothing else to listen to. Boredom is coming, and you still have the whole afternoon left at work to get through. How are you going to get through this? Well, maybe you end up quitting your job, you can't afford your rent, and before you know it, you're on the street eating tuna out of a can with Henrietta over by the Piggly Wiggly and pooping against a tree by the Chick-fil-A on the corner. Listen, you could have avoided boredom. You could have kept your job and said, peace out to Henrietta and her shitty tuna. If only you subscribed to the AAA Podcast's extra content, we would have carried you through that afternoon all the way to your warm bed with anime on the TV, with our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties. 8 extra exclusive episodes a month just for you for helping out the podcast. So special thank you. If you go over to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon, you can help us out, and we'll help you say peace to Henrietta. Welcome back to the podcast. In Buddhism, what is the lowest level of the Naraka, or hell realm? And with a weird symbol, the Avicii. That's
They
probably
also
where
dropped some great tunes.
That's
in
where
the
Geist is located, by the way.
electronic dance music realm.
Holy shit! Never gets fucking old.
Never.
All right. It really doesn't. Not for me, at least. All right, guys. Well, this next segment is the Unexplored Pictures with Mason, and the promo art for this movie that we're going to talk about has me interested. So
This
let's,
movie is right up your alley, my guy.
I hope it's available on streaming. And here we go.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Unexplored Pictures with Mason.
So a couple episodes back, I don't remember which one it was. I've been doing all these new, like Pompo the Cinephile, Bell, all these new movies for Unexplored Pictures. And I think it was on the Twitch chat. I think it was Smoke a Few. When I was talking about the movies, he's like, oh, I rewatched Venus Wars yesterday. Real good movie. Or something like that. Sorry if I misquoted you. And I was like, Venus Wars? I've never seen this movie. I've never even heard of it. This is what happens when you're on the Twitch. I look at your comments, I read them, and I say, hey, I'm going to try this movie just because one guy said, hey, it's not bad. And you know what? I did, and it's not bad. This is a 1989 film running at 100 minutes, and it's done by Triangle Staff.
Yes. 1989. Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
So this is right up your alley. So essentially the setting is an ice comet has hit the planet Venus, and it kind of terraforms it into something that can sustain human life. Unfortunately, as people go there, the crops start failing, the competition for resources intensify, and hostilities grow until there's like two factions on Venus. You
I
have
can see it.
Aphrodite and Ishtar, and they're kind of butting heads. And we have this renegade Earth reporter named Susan Summers, and she arrives at the capital of Aphrodite right as Ishtar attacks. And there's tanks, and they're overrunning it, and she's kind of like driven out of her like seedy underbelly that she was staying at, and she eventually gets like caught up with a group of like renegade motorcycle racers, and just kind of it's the story of them surviving in the city as like the military are trying to take over, and it's just a fun time. So it's directed and go ahead.
Where can you watch this?
You can watch this on the internet. I
That's it?
cannot find the legal streaming place. So they've released it a bunch. There's a sub, there's dubs, there's all sorts of places. I don't know. I think it used to be somewhere and then it was taken down. Let me know if you need help finding it.
I'm looking for it on Retro Crush, but they don't have it.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be because it's the perfect
Sucks.
thing for it. So petition Retro Crush, if you're listening, put on Venus Wars.
What the fuck
So
have you
this
been
was
doing?
directed and created by the legendary Yoshikazu Yasuhiko, and this film looks rad. And by rad, I mean red. It also looks rad, but everything is red. The surface of Venus, red. The atmosphere, red. Just fires and explosions all over the place. And it does look cool because if you know 1989, this movie was certainly in the same like era of Akira-inspired animation and splendor. So if you like just love Sakuga or animation, like this movie is worth recommending for that alone. Like there's even some cool scenes where they like took footage of like a desert that they were driving through and then like put a filter over it and then animated stuff on top of that, which it's kind of just janky and lovable at the same time. Like if you love the poofy hair, badass charisma, like whitey tidies and retro flair, like if you are yearning for the days of yore, Venus Wars is a fun romp. There's a couple instances of like the sex appeal and the undressing of women, but it's kind of digestible because they're usually undressing to be badasses, so you feel a little bit better about it. Like this isn't your like nerdy sci-fi, like this is like tank parachuting, this is bike racing, this is like rebellious mayhem, and it just so happens to take place on another planet. So
yeah.
And if that wasn't enough to sell you, Mitz,
No,
Joe
I'm already sold.
Hisaishi did the music for it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm
So
sold.
you know it's good. And speaking of sound, all like the punches and kicks have like these big like fighting game type sound effects of like doosh, doosh. It's like all blown out and chunky. Like it's so fun. What I sampled of the dub, it wasn't half bad, and by that I mean half of it was pretty good and the other half was kind of not great. And sure, some of the writing doesn't hold up to today's like cultural standards. And there's flaws aplenty. Like the plot is a little weak, the characterization's a little strange. Like there's not enough ideas in it to sustain 100 minutes, but it succeeds in just being fun, and you munch on popcorn and you have a good time. So Venus Wars is not a great movie, but it is certainly an aesthetic and worth checking out if that sounds like it's up your alley.
I might check that out. It'd be better if it was on Retro Crush, because then I could watch it in bed at
It
night.
would be great if it was on Retro Crush or anywhere that I could easily say, hey, it's the $3.99 on the XYZ site. But you'll have to do a bit of digging, which I don't like recommending movies where you have to do that sort of thing. But hey, if that's the only way to do it, that's how you got to do it, I guess. I don't know. Don't listen to me. Be good citizens.
Yeah, and
That's all I got.
This studio went bye-bye in like 2000. A long time since this has been a studio. So,
well, if you check it out, let me know how it is.
All right. Thank you, Mason. That was a good recommendation. I love that promo art. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And thank you, Smoke a Few, if you were indeed the one that I remembered writing this down.
I'll put that promo art up on Twitch while I play the mailbag drop.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
It's time for a mailbag, which you can submit to us through AAApodcast.com. All you have to do is hit the mailbag button. And Raggedy Doctor did this just to send in a little message to us. Hey there, Addicts. I wanted to give a special shout out to Mama Mitz. She's a fantastic sport, and listening to her smackdown fools and does Mitsugi's Mom No is still my all-time favorite segment that only gets better with each new victim. I mean, contest. Thank you, Mama Mitz, for the endless entertainment and for making my anime addiction so much worse. And that's a first that somebody's giving a thank you to specifically the mother of Mitsugi. But yes, she is a very popular supporting character on this podcast.
Hello.
There you go. Fantastic. All right. Well, I will let her know. I'll let her know that she got a mailbag just for her. So
nice.
I talked to her about the Olympics a lot, so she is glued to the Olympics. So, and I got the Venus Wars promo art up on Twitch now.
This is. Right. I don't think this is even the promo art. This is just like a shot from the movie.
It's a good shot. Okay.
It is. It is a damn good shot.
All right. Keyword attack. All right. We got a keyword attack mailbag here from Yotaru Vegeta. Yotaru Vegeta, he submits a lot of mailbags. He does a good job with it, and I encourage more mailbags. We're gonna do a little mini game show. What is your favorite super anime? In other words, anime with super in the title. There's Dragon Ball Super, Super Gals, Sailor Moon Super S, Super Sonico, Locke the Superman, Super Milk-chan, Super Lovers. And honestly, if I just check it, there's probably a lot more of these too.
Oh, there's tons more.
There's tons more, probably. Yeah.
Those are just some exampmes that Yotaru kindly provided to people who didn't know how to spell super to figure it out.
Oh boy. So, I mean, of the ones that he listed, Dragon Ball Super probably, because for one thing, I've only seen like a couple of these, and it's just tough to beat Dragon Ball for me personally. Like, I'll take Dragon Ball over most things. So,
I actually have not seen any anime with super in it, except I guess Sailor Moon Super S, but that was a very long time ago, and I guess that's it as a default.
Oh man, there's tons of super shows, but
I just haven't seen them.
My favorite super show has to be Super Cub from a couple seasons ago. It's so good. It's like laid back camp, but derpier. It's a bunch of fun, as well as Himote House, which you're like, that doesn't have the word super in it, but the extended full title is Himote House, a share house of super psychic girls. So that counts. It's not a good show, but it's just a funny concept because it twists the formula and just had all the voice actresses ad-lib in the studio, and then they animated on top of that after the fact. So it's got a cool vibe, and so both those shows are a bunch of fun, so check them out.
Okay, and that's it.
That's all we got.
That's it for the mailbags. Yeah, so submit those mailbags, guys, and we will read them here on the podcast. So, and as always, you can do that from the website. So, all right, Mason, your time has come. it is time for the review of Heike Monogatari. So,
Indeed.
are you very
We're
excited?
back. We're back to fall 2021. I'm so excited to talk about the show, Mitz. After isekai after isekai, we're I guess we already did the Blue Period review, but this is our re-entry into the season, and this is my pick, my number one pick. This is the show I was the most excited to watch from this entire season. I passed it on episode 585. You can watch it on Funimation. It's done by Science Saru, which is near and dear to my heart. They did Azokin, they did Devilman Crybaby, and they did everyone's favorite, Japan Sinks 2020.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, of course.
This is an original work, which is to say it's not based on a manga, but it is based on a massive novel which tells a very real story of the Taira family, the Heike family, in long ago Japan. And so it's original, but not really. And it's directed by the big name of Naoko Yamada, who is famous at Kyoto Animation for doing K-On!, A Silent Voice, and Tamako Market. This is her first show or movie or anything outside of Kyoto Animation. So it was very interesting to see what she brought to Science Saru. The synopsis is a young orphan named Biwa, taken in by the powerful Taira clan after their leader witnesses her extraordinary psychic abilities. Unfortunately, her psychic abilities say, hey, shit's gonna get bad, so oh no. And like I said, it's inspired by the 12th century tale Heike Monogatari, of which the name derives from, aka the Heike story. I was super hyped when I passed this show, but what were your guys' expectations going into this? Caroline?
Well, when we were making our selections for impressions, I knew that this was at the top of your list, and I had seen
Yep.
the PV and everything, and it automatically is, visually pretty striking. Like, you take notice of it a little bit more than the others. So I was thinking to myself, oh, this has potential. The synopsis is a little bit, it's going to be about Japanese history, so it's not going to be as straightforward of a synopsis as others. But, it did get my attention, at the very least.
Nice. And Mitz?
Well, I knew you were all pumped up about it. You had said as much. I knew it was Science Saru, so I expected good, if not eccentric, art. And Heike kind of suggests that it's going to be that it's going to be a period piece. So there's that. But other than that, I didn't know a great deal about it. Honestly, I knew I'd seen the little girl's face, Biwa, but that was about all. So
You saw the mixed colored eyes, and you're like, oh no, not again.
yeah,
Not again. Not another
Heterosexual.
Wonder Egg priority.
Heterochromia.
it's not my thing, but at least it's in this show for a reason, unlike
Yeah.
other shows where they're just like, we got to make this look really cool
She's
because everything else
quirky
about
and
this animation.
zany.
Yeah.
I got to have this character have two-toned hair and 5 different colors in their eyes because otherwise this anime has nothing going for it. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Honestly,
about
I
it.
was just excited that we weren't getting another Son Goku period piece because that is so prevalent in anime and the stories we get
Yeah.
from it. So I was glad to do something earlier. So, yay! So spoiler-free recommendation. Caroline, would you recommend Heike Monogatari?
I would. It is a very good show. It might not be great if you're not into complicated history that you might not be automatically knowledgeable of. I mean, this time period is, again, as you mentioned, not as the most popular time periods that historical anime have done. And also, we are, for the most part, not knowledgeable on Japanese history as many people are. But if you can get past that and just pay attention and be okay with maybe not understanding every piece of it and also have, the Wikipedia page up sometimes, I think that it's very good and it's worth it.
Yes. Ooh, you're saying the right words, Caroline, my friend.
Yeah.
We're buddies. Mitsuki, what do you think of this joint?
I would say it's recommendable to some people. I think certain audiences are going to be a little bored by it. Probably it's a little, what is the word? Flat.
That's obtuse.
It doesn't
Complicated?
it's not like a fast moving actiony show. It's, people that are watching anime for like the My Heroes and, this won't appeal to them. This is like an anime that's more for that one show that was about that pottery guy who liked the pottery shit. Or
Hyoge Mono.
Hyoge Mono
Good.
type of thing, or Genwa Rakugo Shinju. Like if you like those shows, if you like Rakugo Shinju, you're probably gonna like this one, I think, because it's kind of got the same sort of slow moving. It's more about the characters. It's more about but it's not like for the typical shonen crowd. So if I was talking to someone that I thought if this would appeal to, I would probably recommend it to them. But if I knew that this was a person that was like binging One Piece, there's probably other shows I'd recommend first. But that's not the shit. That isn't to say that this show doesn't have like good things going for it. It just means that it's probably only a show that's going to appeal to like what I would guess is maybe 30% of the anime audience, because I think everybody else is in it for the shonen.
Yeah, because also I think a good thing to keep in mind is that a lot of this anime, from what I can understand, is accurate to the classic story that's been passed down for so long, and it's not embellished to make sure it captures the anime fan in particular. I think it's supposed to be for that niche group of people who will appreciate the history, but also enjoy the medium of anime.
You mean we don't get the classic 13th century, 12th century trope of the emperor falling down and pulling down the servant girl's clothes and falling face first into her nether regions? You mean they don't do that in the show?
I mean, they
What?
aren't
Is
exactly
this even anime?
You could say that there are kind of perverted characters, but not really focused on it.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree strongly with what you guys said. This is a fantastic show. I certainly enjoyed it, but it's not for everyone. The normal people who just want a nice leisurely watch to just, hey, I have an hour while I eat dinner, let me just put something on to like rest my mind. You're probably gonna be a little overwhelmed with this. Not to say it's that complicated, but there's just a lot of stuff going on.
The names and the places
People
are
like,
not.
oh, why do anime characters have different colored hair? That's so weird. But then you realize, oh, if they all look realistic, it's sometimes difficult to keep track of it all, especially when it's a massive interconnected web of relationships and family ties, and years jump in between episodes, and you're like, is that the same? Yeah, I think it's the same one. Like, they all sound. It's not an easy watch. And if you're the kind of person who has a Wikipedia page up, as Caroline mentioned, like in the side browser, and they mention something, you're like, ooh, what's this? And you look it up and you go down a rabbit hole, like mid-episode.
Yeah.
The show is perfect for you because there's so much to it. And besides just the watching experience, it's very Mono no Aware. It talks about the impermanence of all things. Everything good will end and everything bad will end. And it's just the ebb and flow of life. And it's just relaxing and emotional and tragic and motivating. And it just has all these emotions bundled up in a tight little ball. And I had a bunch of fun watching it. So I would recommend it if you're the kind of person that likes the shows that I recommend. If not, you know who you are, and we can go on our merry way, not wasting each other's time. So let's get into spoilers.
Let's spoil some history.
Exactly.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
You've only had, what, 1,000 years to read this by now? So I guess there's not really a ton of spoilers. But this show is good. It's really good. I just want to mark, like, the show is, like, complex because obviously it's a broad cast of characters that is kind of crammed into a very short time. And half because, like, it's interesting seeing a lot of things in the show that I know in real world. I went to Japan with Mitsugi and went to some of these places. And because of, like, the way that characters were read, the names changed from what I know. Like, even something like the Miyajima Shrine, which is, like, the massive torii that's floating in the water. I was like, oh, that's the Miyajima Shrine. But in the show, they're like, oh, we're going to Itsukushima. And I'm like, okay. And then they showed the gate. I'm like, that kind of looks like something else. No, it's the same gate. It's just called differently. Like, so
Yeah.
even things I know, I didn't know that I knew in the show, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I recognize that.
Yeah,
from
and
the
then
show.
there's also like the family names can get a little bit complicated because there's this whole system of it, like the Tyra is the Heike and
Yep.
and then there's the Emperor's family, and they're kind of related
And they're
to the Heike.
constantly marrying one another, so then they're
Yeah.
kind of related, and then they're not. And there's all these bald dudes, and you're like, is that the same bald dude as this bald dude? And nope, they're different bald dudes.
I was literally trying to tell I found the way of trying to tell the difference between the Emperor and Kiyomori is that the Emperor has no eyebrows compared to Kiyomori.
See, I looked at the
They're
top.
both bald.
The Emperor's head is like flatter on the
Yeah,
top. It has
that
a little
too.
like valley in it.
Yeah,
Like
but the first thing I
Tsukamori
thought of was
like
the
grows up and he
eyebrows.
grows a bit. It's good though. Like if you look away for a bit, you'll be a little confused, not like lost, but you'll be like, wait, what's going on? But if
You have to think about it.
you have to pay attention.
And actually, I kind of put that down as a bit of a negative in terms of like, well, it'd be nice if you understood it all, but it's also a positive because it's not dumbed down history like so many anime will do in terms of like historical fiction, and it like encourages you to figure it out for yourself, and it doesn't treat you as if like they know you can figure it out. You just have to try.
Yeah. I liked learning things in the show.
Yeah.
Like outside of the plot and the history, there was just a lot of elements to Japanese culture and tradition that I didn't know about. Like when they talked about the people who got like sent to an island by Kiyomori and they were like they were like pardoned eventually. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, they were pardoned because they sent out 1,000 sotobas. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what the fuck
But
a sotoba
But
is.
the one guy
And I
didn't.
look it up and it's these tablets with sutras written on them. I'm like, that's cool. They're like really into like imayo, and I'm like, what's imayo? Like, I don't know. No, it's like the song structure of the day, and instead of like a haiku of like syllable counts,
say
they use
haiku?
like a haiku.
I mean, high Q works too. It's funny.
I know it does, but it was rolling out here. I can't talk, you know me. So it's just like that style of song with like a 75757575 character count, and like that was cool. I wish, like they talked about the kaburo with the hairstyles. They talked about the portable shrines of the warrior monks, like being like the dietic like entities, and like they weren't supposed to like harm those. Like I loved just outside of what the show had to offer, I just felt like I learned stuff when I watched this, and I love learning. Learning is so much fun. It's almost as fun as reading, but
But reading is learning.
no, it's kind of one and the same. But I felt like I learned. I mean, obviously the show was good. I think the big message I got from it, besides the impermanence of things, is just it's funny seeing how the show's about the incompetency of people in power and how those flawed characters trickle down very unfairly to everyone below them, and people become powerless. And it's funny that this like massive like clan, the eldest son of this powerful family, feels as powerless as this like destitute orphan girl because they are both caught in the cogs of fate, and they just both are like, I can't change my situation, and like everyone feels that way sometimes. And this interesting and cool, and this show is good, and I like it.
Yeah,
And
and any other show where the character has the ability to see into the future and all that, you would think like, okay, so she's going to change things. She's going to like make sure, like do her best to try to make this not happen. But she just knows that it's going to happen anyway, no matter what she does.
yeah, she's powerless, and she questions like, is it even worth looking? Is it worth watching if you can't change and enact anything? And I'm a viewer of the show. I'm watching too. I can't change anything. I can't be like, no, stop it. You're making a mistake. Like you're just like Biwa. You know, she doesn't do much, but she's kind of the stand-in for the show and the audience at the same time. And I would say the biggest flaw I had with this show is just the characters. There's so many that, and while some are like good and lovable, like there's just so little time to develop them that they all just get pushed into like the simplest boxes so that you can try to digest them all like a box of Tic Tacs. Like they all kind of go down smooth, and they have their pros and cons, but they're just not as rich because there's just no time for them to be as well established as like a normal show.
Yeah. And even though like there wasn't enough time to really like delve into them, I still thought that they were pretty unique enough to be able to get through the characters a little bit more than you would be in a different show. You know, I feel like there are certain things about the characters that you remember, like, okay, so this one plays the flute with his cousin and they are good friends, and then you have one who is the scaredy cat, but he's the oldest son, so he has to figure it out, and then you have the one who's the smart aleck that is kind of Biwa's friend but is kind of not, and they have that complicated relationship, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah, I like the brothers. They were all cool.
Yeah,
I like that whole family. Higamori.
Yeah. He's such. I love that. I love
so
Shigemori.
good.
Too bad he had to die. But yeah.
So, I was only able to watch this up through episode 9 because I couldn't get Funimation to load this morning for whatever reason. Just would play episode 10.
No worries. You missed the big swimming pool episode.
Okay.
You missed the beach episode.
Oh my God. I just want someone.
So many
Anyway,
people.
go ahead.
I just want someone to tell me what the point is of Biwa.
She's the storyteller. She's the one like you can kind of think of her as the person that created the story of the Heike Monogatari.
But like she doesn't age. Like it's
because the story doesn't age. The story
I feel like
stood the
she's
test of
just
time.
I think she's just like the ephemeral storyteller that
the conduit.
She's the embodiment of the story.
Of the story itself.
So
Okay.
if you want like a little more literal reason, massive big spoilers, please, if you haven't seen this and you're at all interested,
Spoiler
just don't listen
drop.
for the next 15 seconds. The last 2 episodes are amazing. Essentially, the entire Taira clan, the Heikes, they all commit suicide. They all die. They're all wiped out.
Bad.
And Biwa comes back and is like, I'm here to learn and see the end of the story so I can tell it. So she very much takes on the role of, as this clan meets its demise, I will be the one to propagate its lineage out into the world.
Gotcha.
And it's good. It hits hard. It's
But why is she running
sad.
around seeing dead people like Haley Joel Osment?
because she that was my biggest complaint by far with the show. She gets the ability of Shigemori, and her like eye changes color, her other eye changes color. So in the opening, right, they have the symbol of the Heike, which is like the flat symbol, and there's like that pulsating blue side dot to match her eye. I wanted them to, when she got the other color eye, to like for that side dot to start pulsating too.
Yeah.
That would have been. I'm a sucker for when OPs change to fit the show, and they missed that opportunity, and it made me very moderately disappointed. But
I was kind of expecting them to do something to change it up in some way by the end of it. Not in that way specifically, but in some way. What was
last episode is really cool though.
It is very good. Although I was surprised by how many people die by water in this show. You know, like everybody drowns themselves. I'm like, is there really no other way to kill yourself?
Yeah, that seems easily like one of the most awful ways to go.
Yeah. But then there was that one of the brothers, you know, the one that first committed suicide by just drowning himself. Like he just jumped in the water and he never came out. And I'm like thinking to myself,
Flute Man?
I feel like you have to do more to drown yourself than just jump into water.
Not if you can't
Gotta
swim.
wear some heavy ass clothes and not know how to swim.
Yeah, but I guess so. He never specified that he knew how to swim.
Concrete galoshes.
Exactly. Let's see. Art and animation. This was splendid. This was actually my nomination. Spoilers. This is my nomination for best animation of 2021. Voted in the Oscars. It wasn't focused on staying on model. It wasn't super clean, but like allowed all the quirks and blobs and splendor of animation to shine through. Like it was such a visually engaging show without having to rely on like, oh, this is the fight scene. Let's put in all our money in Sakuga and make it look amazing. And the rest it looks kind of derpy. Like it was just a consistent niceness. And there was flowers.
It was very nice.
I don't know what flowers mean. I'm sure if I knew like flower language, I would be like, wow, this violet symbolizes this, and they portrayed it in this thing, and I don't know any of that. I'm sure there's a whole layer of the show I'm missing out on, but it's cool, and I appreciate it.
The visual metaphors were pretty great. I mean, every single time somebody got beheaded, they like a red flower fell from a tree or whatever, and every time a tear dropped, it was a white flower, and that kind of thing. It was pretty interesting.
It was neat.
The music was also very good.
The music,
it was like, what was it, Ushio Kensuke or whatever?
Yeah,
I think he did the music for A Silent Voice, I believe.
Yeah, he also did Ping Pong and everything. Pretty much that my boy has directed. He's so good. I didn't love the OP or the ED though.
Oh, I loved the OP.
The
I
OP was
love
just
that
like
song.
a generic indie rock. Like it didn't like it was fine, but it was kind of whatever. The ED was like this like trance rock
Yeah,
electronic thing
it was
that transformed
interesting.
into like a
Oh,
horn
whoa.
section that played like it felt like it was being played in reverse. Like
Yeah, that was yeah.
it was
It was an
eclectic
interesting.
and interesting, but it didn't like fit together nicely. Like I didn't adore it,
I
but
I enjoy the
Kensuke stuff is
music.
amazing.
The music is interesting because it predates the
Hmm.
classical era, so you can definitely see like people that don't have a music background, like there's music theory, right? But most of the current day music theory that you know of was developed in Europe by classical composers, Baroque composers. So like you have like your scales, your cadences, your whatever, right? And so that's almost like how if you have a good musical ear, or you play music, you can almost predict like what a song is gonna do next based on what it already did. Like there's like a scale progression or whatever. But like the music and from this era predates all that, so they're just kind of standing up there and just fucking around, and the music is completely unpredictable because it doesn't flow. It doesn't follow the rules that were set. Like what would have been? It would have been like 300 or 400 years later in Europe. So I think it's just interesting to hear like three people just stand up there with a flute, and they're just basically like it's like jam bands of like the year 1200, you know, because
It's just written by some emperor, some bald dude who's just like, I'm really feeling flute music right now. Let me make a ditty.
I think they're just flying by the seat of their pants. They just get up
That's so
there.
good.
It's not like they wrote it. They're just like getting up there and they're just playing whatever sounds good. And because it doesn't have to follow, you know, this some musical theory, structure. It can have like all these dissonances in it and stuff like that. But like it sounds okay because it's just a whole different like brand of music completely. So I think that's why when people hear music that's from Japan, that's this old, they think like, ooh, that sounds weird. But it's just because for your whole life you've been listening to music that was basically created by whatever came out of Europe. So it's just interesting. So I every
And
time
then
they played,
it all goes into a different level whenever Biwa strums her biwa and then goes into storyteller mode. And like big things happen in the show and I'm just like, what the frick is going on?
yeah, she's basically a bard. She's like,
Yeah.
she's the guy in the tavern singing about The Witcher, except she's some weird girl who never ages who sees dead people. So, which I still don't
Yeah.
understand why they see dead people, but I
Well,
don't
she
really.
sees the spirits. She sees.
Well, more than just her
she's
seeing
looking
dead
like-
people in the show, that's for sure. I does I guess Tokuko probably doesn't see the dead people, but they're definitely affecting her.
Oh,
when
yeah.
she's. So I don't know. There's a supernatural element to the show that feels a little out of place to me because, it's like a historical.
It doesn't fulfill the point of having it.
Oh.
Like in the traditional way that we would have it.
Yeah, I just don't know.
but it also is, like you kind of said, it's based off of not what actually happened, but it's based on the lore of what happened. So, like for example, Kiyomori, he did some bad stuff, and he gets like visited in this like dream sequence of like these like massive like hellish beings holding like a cart that's like we've come to deliver him, and there's flames all over, and you're like, this is like a little bit much, but like that's based on a real like woodblock painting of Kiyomori like being haunted of visions of hell. Like so they incorporated that in like a dream sequence kind of way. And it's a little supernatural, but it's how the lore was written. And I think it like cradled that line really well. If that makes sense.
Well,
Let
What
me-
else did I want to say? There was something else I wanted to say.
These characters aren't just like some dudes in history. Like these are the subject of like art pieces. So like in our chat, I just dropped an image of like this thing. Like these are the people I if I go to a museum and see this, I can say, oh, I know who these people were, what they represent,
Look
or
at that
what
guy.
they've contributed. Like look how badass this is. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, the thing I was going to say. I will say that as much as I like enjoyed seeing the story of the Tyra family, because they do show you a lot of good protagonist characters, like the what was his name? Kiyo. No, his son. Who was Kiyomori's son?
There's so many.
Shigemori.
There's so many Moris in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of names.
Shigemori is good.
Shigemori is probably the objectively good character. Like, you can see him as being ethically good, as a lot of other characters in the Heike family, but Kiyomori is not as good. And then they do a little bit more to show you both sides of this family, the good side, the bad side, the not very smart side with Munemori and all that. But with the antagonists that they have to face off within the show, I feel like we never thought of them in that layered way. We were just like, always the antagonist. I feel like I would have enjoyed a little bit more development on their side.
Let's see here. There's a lot of Moris. There's Sane Mori, Atsumori, Kiyomori, Koremori, Shigemori, Skemori, Tomomori, Yukimori.
Did you say Munemori? Did we get that?
I don't think I said Munemori. I don't see a Munemori on here.
Yeah, that was his.
That was
his
the brother
younger
of
brother.
Shigemori. Yeah.
That was the guy who like looked like a freaking like Disney villain.
Yeah.
Oh, he was such a weirdo.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. It was a good show. I liked the show. I feel like I could talk your ear off, but just watch it.
It
You'll
definitely
know if
moves
it's
quick,
for you or
though.
not.
You can't skip episodes. Like, they'll skip
Yeah.
a whole year in between an episode and not see a damn
I feel
thing.
like with how people might hear us talk about it, they might think like, oh, maybe it might be a little less, more of a slog because it's historical and all that stuff. But honestly, I was very engaged during all of it. It is different than other anime that you watch, but it is no more or no less intriguing to watch.
Oh, for sure. And if you like the tale of the Heike, like you can read
The book.
the side one. The book. Well, there's also obviously the other side of it. So the
other
Heike,
side?
Tyra were at like war with the Genji. Like the
Yeah.
tale of Genji is another book. It's another
They
historical
should do a
thing.
season 2.
They should with the Genji.
Heike
Though it's a
Monogatari.
lot of the same stuff because it's them clashing with one another. But it was nice.
So, is that it, you think?
I'm ready to score it if you guys are.
Me too.
Mason, why don't you go first? This is your baby.
It is. So, like I said, the big question that people ask yourself, if you can't do anything to impact the visions you see, do you still wish to peer into the abyss of knowledge? And in this case, I peer into Heike Monogatari. I can see the pacing flaws. Like it's a little quick at times. It's a little tough to follow. Sometimes like the use of exposition is a little gaudy. Sometimes characters are talking to one another, not as characters, but explaining what's happening. Shigemori goes to his dad. And he's like, he doesn't say like, I'm betraying you. He's like, oh, I like the emperor and I like you, but I can't decide. And it just seems a little stiff, but they need to explain it somehow. But like, despite the little qualms, like I valued my time with it. It was serene. It was beautiful. And it had a lot of weight to it, especially those last couple episodes. And it all stitched together into moments of brilliance, and I enjoyed the show thoroughly. It's not an easy watch, but it's rewarding, it's unique, and it's amusing, is it not? So I'm going to give it 4 B with strings out of 5.
Wow, I was expecting a 4.5.
I
Pulled the rug out
wanted
from under
to do
you.
it, but it just...
What is it?
I don't know. I think it could have used a little bit more... I think it needed more episodes. I think it needed a little more breathing room. I think the relationship between Biwa and her mom was a little thrown in. Like, it was between a 4 and a 4.5 for me. And right now, it's sitting at a 4. It could change later, but right now...
Nobody will call you a homer.
Yeah, there we go.
Caroline?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I really enjoyed watching it. It's certainly a little bit different from the other stuff that we have. What we typically do watch. And I am so glad that we took a break from all the isekai and all the just anime that did not feel like it had that attention that it deserved. Like this definitely got the attention it deserved. So many references to his story, the amount of effort was put into making it look good and sound good and intriguing, despite the fact that it is very difficult subject matter to kind of get a hold of. And even if they are historical characters, I enjoyed a fair amount of them, like a lot of great characters, and I enjoyed their interactions. And everything just felt as if it was just good, and I enjoyed it. So I would have to give this show 4.5 death by drownings out of 5.
Heck yeah, we take that. Love to hear it. Nice job. Thank you. Mitz.
It's kind of a weird show, you know. I turned it on, watched an episode. Pancake was like, "Oh, seems good," and then she fell asleep. And normally, I think I'd be really bored watching this because I'm not going to sit there with Wikipedia open and look things up. But I didn't feel like I was being tortured watching it like I sometimes do when shows just consist of talking the entire time. So the show had a little bit more of that it factor than I think other shows will have. They're just better paced, better written, characters are better, and they find ways to entertain you like in the small spots. They don't have to have an action scene. You can have just like an interaction where 3 dudes are playing a flute, and inevitably you say you think you don't think to yourself, wow, this is like an action scene, or this is a really entertaining scene, or this is really funny. But like when you look back on the episode, you think like, oh, well, that was a pretty smooth episode. Didn't feel tortured by it. You know, it was entertaining in its own right. That being said, it's not entirely my cup of tea. You know, I respect what it does, but not really a show that I would like seek out other shows just like it, just for shits. You know, I also didn't watch Hyouge Mono. I got like 7 or 8 episodes into Hyouge Mono. So
yeah, but Hyouge was a weird show.
it was weird, but it was historical too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this show pretty much exactly what it has on my anime list, which is 3.5 people playing a flute and then a biwa out of 5. It's a pretty good show. Just not exactly my cup of tea. You know what? Just for Mason, fuck it. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oh,
wow.
Very nice. You know what? I will go out of my way and make an assumption and say if you watch the last 2 episodes, which are probably more up your alley and like very impactful, you'd give it a 4.
Fair enough.
With less of a stretch. You might still give it a 3.5, but I think you'd be more like, yeah, this is. I'll put it a 4 on the spreadsheet, my guy.
But I don't know why Funimation just wouldn't load. Like, it was just that last 2 episodes wouldn't load. By the way, this is dubbed. The dub is okay. It makes it easier to watch. And Captain Avatar asks the real question of the hour: is this better than Realist Hero? Caroline.
You know what? It just inched ahead. You know,
yes, barely.
Yeah.
It's a close neck and neck.
You know, this is kind of like a rare example of a tragedy in anime. Like, it is a tragic show, you know, because it doesn't end the way that you personally might want it to, but it is just what happens in history.
And it's great because it spoils like the tragedy of it, and you're like, oh, okay.
You already know.
They tell you episode 1, like these characters die, but it's so much more impactful than it even lets on. Like it's hiding so many cards up its sleeve that when it happens, you're just like, oh, jeez, this is nuts. And it's cool. It's a good show.
All right, well, that's our show for today, people. You know, we enjoy doing these shows for you, and glad you stick around. And for the people that did discover that we were doing this early today, good for you. And for the rest of you,
sorry to everyone.
Yeah,
10 minutes from now, who are going to log into Twitch and realize they missed it.
They're going to log on and sit there for like 20 minutes, be like, man, they're running a little bit late today. And
yeah, sorry, guys.
Minutes, they're like, maybe I missed it.
So
once again, you must follow us on Twitter so that you know when these things happen.
It's a Super Bowl. It's not that it's surprising. The Super Bowl's really early this year, and it's you know, we're not gonna people want to watch the Super Bowl. I get it. Half the world's going to some fucking party. So, except for me, I'll be at home. So, again, yeah, thanks guys for listening. If you want to check us out, you can check us out over on Twitter. The podcast is at AAA Podcast. Mason is at Macy Pacey. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Discord, of course, via the website, aapodcast.com. Recommend you go on the Discord because there are people on there watching anime together from the current seasons. We got like trivia clubs. We've got anime club. Just a lot of stuff.
What are we doing on an anime club?
Yeah, what's going on in anime club?
Blue Spring Ride.
Yep.
That will be the Wednesday after this, I believe.
The 2nd, the 23rd.
We're on TikTok at _anime_addicts. So check us out on there. And of course, as always, if you want to help out the podcast, if you don't want Billy to go hungry, little Billy, sweet little Billy, his parents, there's someone's bitch down in the slammer because they got mad at that, a checkout machine, which I normally do. Head over to aapodcast.com/join. We're going to do a hentai episode for you right now where I'm going to talk about elves with supremely large breasts. And you can hear us talk about video games on the Hobby Addicts and books and TV shows and everything else over there. You can hear us talk about just general antics over on the after parties. 8 episodes for you extra a month. So exclusive, so fresh. Just for you. Again, aapodcast.com/join. We'll see you guys next week. We're going to be doing a review of Jobless Reincarnation Season 2. And
I need to start Season 1.
Talking about what we've been watching. So we'll see you next week, and hope to see you there. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.